Hello and welcome to Let's Talk HR with Dr. Deneen, the talk show that spotlights HR professionals and talks about all things HR. Today we're shaking things up with a powerful conversation about the non-traditional emerging leader, 1 to 5 years in the HR industry. Those bold, innovative professionals who've entered the HR world with fresh ideas and unique backgrounds. Whether they transition from marketing, education, healthcare, or even the military, these rising stars are redefining what it means to thrive in HR. Joining me today is one of those inspiring voices. Her name is Linda Grafenreed, HR Emerging Leader, Human Resources Coordinator with the Salvation Army Memphis and Mid-South. Linda's journey into HR is anything but traditional, yet her impact has been undeniable. She's here to share her story, her insights, and what's driving her success as an emerging leader in the HR profession. Hello, Linda. How are you today?
I'm well. How are you?
I am doing fine.
Good.
So glad that you're here today.
Thank you for having me.
You are so welcome. So let's jump right in.
Okay.
So let's talk a little bit about your professional journey. And what we're talking about today is that you entered HR in a non-traditional way, right?
Very.
You had a thriving career, but in midstream changed to go into what she knew that was best for her. So let's talk about it. Tell us a little bit about your professional journey.
Well, my professional journey actually started in customer service. Then I was in the medical field.
Okay.
Then IT. Midstream IT. I love IT, but I thought I wanted to do more hands-on directly with people, helping people more. So I decided to just go back to school and study human resource management.
Okay, that's what she did. She knew it. She said, I've got to work with people more. I want to be involved with people. I want to make decisions that make a difference in the lives of others. And so she did that as a non-traditional HR emerging leader. So we know that some emerging leaders, when we think about it, we think about they're straight out of college or out of a trade school, very young, first time in the profession, but you're a non-traditional emerging leader. Can you describe the pivotal moment in your career when you decided to transition to HR?
Yes, it was tedious in the IT world, in the company, in the organization I was in.
All right.
And I thought, now it's time for me to make the change to do what I'm passionate about, which is helping people.
Okay. So it was tedious there. Hey, it's time for me to get into something where I'm better suited, maybe?
Better suited, even though HR can be tedious with the different changes and everything. But HR is just different, has a different, more homey feel for me.
Okay.
And being able to touch people.
Yeah, it's in her heart. She says it's homey. It's in her heart. That's exactly what it means. Okay, so you've been in it for how many years now?
I've been with Salvation Army for 8 years now.
For 8 years now. And so one in the 5, 3 of those were with the Salvation Army. So you've had a little taste of HR,
yes,
right? In the generalist type role, meaning that you touch every aspect, all of the competencies in HR. So what specialties or focus areas are you most passionate about?
I believe it is compliance as well as employment engagement.
Okay.
I enjoy, of course, I feel like doing the right thing all the time, following the rules that are laid out for us to follow, and also to encourage the employees to develop themselves, develop work ethics, and so when they go out from the part-time position into the world, the bigger world, once they finish school and get their degrees, they're more prepared.
They're more prepared.
Yes.
Okay. So she likes compliance. So if a rule is a rule, with this lady, the rule is the rule. But when you talk about HR compliance, that's EO compliance, right? That's onboarding compliance. That is, harassment compliance. the things that we have to do in HR that's compliance driven. It makes her tick. And then it's the employment engagement part,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Getting in with the people, finding out what they need, telling them, and inspiring them to be their best
Yes.
person, right?
Absolutely.
So that's why you do it. It's
That's
in
why
your
I
heart,
do it.
right?
That's why I do it.
Okay. So we've talked about some of the good things. Now let's talk about some of the challenges that you've had. So what's been your biggest challenge as an emerging HR professional? And then tell us how you did overcome it.
Wow.
Yikes.
Well, I think my biggest challenge has been coming from behind the computer and the servers, and then being right in the midst of the executive leaders and the employees and the managers, and being able to converse with them and listen well to determine their needs. So I've had to hone in on my listening skills, develop them more.
Listening.
I've had to listen and try to comply in a timely manner.
Yes. So she had to come away from behind the computer, hiding behind that computer, to front-facing, direct engagement with and contact with employees, people, vendors, everyone that's coming in, right? Clients, everyone. So what was that change like, coming from the computer and then getting straight to the direct with people?
It was a little intimidating. It was a little intimidating for me, but I'm still working on it.
Yeah. So you still work on it because you are, and the more practice you get, working every day, the more experienced you get. So she does it. She does a great job at it.
Thank you.
She does a great job. But with HR, you're going to find that impromptu at any moment, you're going to have to be front facing. You're going to have to be able to think quickly on your feet, and then what you've learned, be able to apply that to whatever situation it is, right? So that is awesome. Okay, all right. So you talked about being with the people, and how important it is, and for them, for you to form a relationship with them where they can trust you.
Yes.
Right? HR is about trust, and sometimes you give, very positive information, but sometimes you have to give negative information.
Yes.
Or you may have to do disciplinary matters. But if the person trusts you, it's a whole lot better, right?
Yes.
So have you successfully, you think, built trust with employees and leadership in your organization? You think you've done that?
I think I have done that. I think I have done that just because I came in, I feel like, willing to learn and to listen.
Yes.
And learn them and let them learn me.
Yeah.
So I think I've done pretty well from the top to the bottom, foremost, from what I can tell.
Yeah.
It seems like I have that trust with them, and I think they trust me.
Yeah.
To do what they need done.
Yeah. Let me tell you, in the HR world, if employees don't trust you, leadership will know it, because employees will tell it. Right.
Well,
but you're building that trust, so you're able to give that information that may be not as pleasant, right? You're building trust so they can come and ask questions, right? And feel comfortable in doing so.
Yes.
That's what we do in HR. We want you to feel comfortable. There's a way to ask any question that you have, and most of the time there's a procedure in which to ask. But that HR leader is pivotal. Let's put that that way. That HR leader is pivotal in making things happen that way.
yes.
Right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
All right. So I'm glad you're doing that. Yeah. So we talk about compliance and we talk about those things. So can you share an example of a policy or an initiative you contributed to make a positive change?
I think one of the initiatives is I have encouraged the employees and the managers as well, when the new hire come in, to go ahead and get the required trainings out of the way. And I follow up with them, not just leave them on their own. I always let them know that I'm available if they have issues with logging in or any type of issue with their training. So I follow up very, very closely with them, just because it is required, which goes back to compliance.
Right.
So that, I think I've been successful at that.
Yeah.
Is getting them to go ahead and get that compliance training done.
Yeah. So what exactly do you do? Do you follow up with that employee? Do you talk to them in person? Do you go by and see them? Do you do it in email, or do you do all of the above?
All of the above.
All of the above.
Yeah, I usually start out with the email communication, with the instructions on how to log in, which courses they need to take, and give them their log-on information in case they don't have it. Give them, let them know it's a time frame to do that in. And then I'm checking to see if it's done when the deadline comes. And if it's not there, I follow up, send them a reminder. If it's still not done, then I go pay them a little visit.
A visit at the door. Just a reminder.
Yes. And just, I just feel like, as well as I'm being held accountable for my job, then that's part of their job. So I try to hold them accountable to help them, again, to build work ethic.
Right. So keeping them on track keeps them positive and keeps them on the right path. And then making sure that they're compliant doing that training. She makes sure that all paperwork, all I's are dotted, all T's are crossed, and all paperwork is done. We can call her the CPO, the Chief Paperwork Officer. That's what we can do. We can call her that. We can call her that. So back into the HR, back into loving HR and loving what you do. And so what skills have you found most essential in your HR role so far?
I think it is essential for critical thinking, listening skills, being dependable, and also being consistent in your work.
Absolutely. Being consistent. And so that means being consistent in your communication, right?
Absolutely.
Being consistent when you do have to pay them a visit. That's consistency too. And but that is so true. All of those aspects, critical thinking, you have to be able to think, have the ability to think things through, analyze the data, and come up with solutions, right?
Yes.
So it's not in HR, it's not, I guess, what do you call it? Paper cut or cookie cutting. Yeah. It's not cookie cutting.
No.
You have to go with the situation.
Absolutely.
So critical thinking is one. What was the other one you said?
Dependability, consistent, and critical thinking as well. You have to be able to think a situation through rather than just acting before you think it through.
Right. So these HR leaders in the 1 to 5 year range, those are the critical skills that you must have to be successful. Dependability. Let me tell you, 15 minutes before she's supposed to be there, 30 minutes before she's supposed to be, she is there. And so those type things are what leaders look for. Is that employee dependable? Can I depend on them to follow through and get the task done? They're going to look for if you can come up with the solution, right? You use your critical thinking skills to come up with a solution instead of the leader coming up with the solution. We're looking for people that are innovative in that way, that have the ability to critically think and find solutions.
Yes.
So, and then the consistency part. Yes. Yeah. And then the consistent part. So what do you think is another skill that you think is?
I think it's important to be trustworthy.
Oh boy, you're gonna have to talk about that one. Tell us about it.
I just feel like people need to be able to trust you as a person first, And then if you're their employee relation person or their HR person, they need to be able to trust you because there's so much confidentiality that's dealt with in HR. Sometimes they want to just come and talk to you.
Yes.
Just, Miss Linda, can I talk to you? Sure. I feel like they trust me enough that they feel that they can come and talk to me about anything, and I'm going to listen to them. Even if I don't have any advice for them, at least I can listen to them.
Yes.
And sometimes when I see them, just maybe encouraging them, just depending on what the conversation is.
Yeah.
So I think that trustworthiness is important.
Yeah. I think she's on her way to being a great, and already is a great HR emerging leader. And understanding those things on the front end, it will help you on the back end. These are the type of things that we want emerging leaders to come in with already. Instead of having to do so much training, we can concentrate training on things that may be a little bit more technical in nature. But when you come in already knowing those competencies, already built relationships, knowing how to navigate them, you are on the right track. Emerging leader, Linda Grafenreed. That's who we're talking to today. And we're talking about some of the important competencies that is required to be a great professional HR leader. All right, so let's talk a little bit about it. So you have to stay updated. Things are changing quickly, daily, in the HR world and in the world in general, right?
Yes.
What was here today can be gone today.
Yes.
So tell me the ways you stay abreast or updated on industry trends and best practices for HR.
I do a lot of reading HR articles, the HR magazines that come out. I visit the SHRM website to see what information is out there that may be shared. And of course, I follow and look at Let's Talk HR with Dr. Deneen. Just because I feel like it's important to stay abreast of things, just as in the IT world. It changes from second to second, and it's just as quickly happening in HR.
Yeah.
So I try to read up on articles, and if I see something, even in a clip on LinkedIn, sometimes I read through the HR professionals that they're sharing points or trending things happening in the HR world.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and not to mention the SHRM conferences or HR conferences.
Yes.
You attend those.
Yes.
And so those are the things. This is beyond your regular training at your organization.
Yes.
It's above and beyond. Staying abreast, being able to talk your craft with others requires you to stay abreast, and definitely you do. So what's a best practice in HR that you found that's most beneficial?
I keep going back to dependability.
Okay.
And trustworthiness and consistency. I just feel like those are core competencies and things that you have to be successful. When people look at you as a professional, whatever that may be, police officer, nurse, or whatever, they're looking for you to be professional, knowledgeable, and all those things in your career and your delivery of those tasks.
Okay. So thus far, you still like HR?
I love HR.
See, when you come in, you like it and you stay.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I know that in the HR world, you need a coach, you need mentors, and you need people that can help you navigate through difficult situations. So are there any mentors or role models that you have significantly influenced, or they have influenced you through your growth in HR?
Absolutely. It is none other than you, and I want to personally thank you for sharing your wealth of knowledge, regardless to whatever I ask or whatever I may not understand, you've always taken time. You stopped whatever you were doing and always had that teaching moment with me. So I appreciate that. And I've learned and still learning so much from you. I appreciate you.
Well, thank you, Linda. Thank you,
You
so
are so
much.
welcome.
Thank you so much. And not only will the emerging leader learn from the leaders learn from the emerging leader, because they may have a fresh perspective, innovative thoughts. So the communication goes both ways. It goes both ways. And so, and that's why it's so important for HR leaders to mentor their employees, right? Sometimes take you right along. Hey, I'm about to go into a situation where it's going to be some pretty difficult conversation going on. And I'm going to ask you to come in so you can watch it, right? So learning, each one teach one, kind of like that?
Yes.
Kind of like that. Not that simplistic, but that's how you learn. You learn from people and from coaches, from mentors.
Yes.
People help you navigate through some of the difficult situations
Yes.
with HR. So let's talk about HR and what's happening in the HR world right now. It's a whole lot of things happening, right? They're talking about the emerging leader, right? We're talking about DE&I in the workplace and how that impacts human resources. There are talks about, recruiting and staffing. There are talks about new training and development methods that are used in HR. So what trends do you see emerging in HR that excite you most? I know it's a lot, but that excite you most.
I think along, of course, with AI, AI is one of the top trending things that's happening right now. I think it is going to be critical that we learn as it comes along rather than having to learn it all, have that big learning curve. So hopefully we can get into more of the AI and free us up. I think that'll free us up from doing so much paper pushing.
Yes, it does.
It allows us to do other things with the employees and better workforce initiatives and processes and procedures.
Okay. You're saying like coming away from the paper.
Yeah, if we can, some of it anyway.
Yeah, automating the things that can be automated.
Yes.
So we can concentrate on the people piece.
Yes.
Right, on the people piece.
Yes.
AI in the workplace. So tell me what you use in AI.
Everything pretty much. Pretty much everything. I mean, AI can create a poster for you. AI can write a paper for you. AI can create a document for you.
Yeah.
So it just is capable of doing a lot of things, if not almost everything right now.
Mm-hmm.
They're constantly building it to do things. So do everything.
Do you find, just to get your opinion, do you find any conflict in using AI? And do you find that as a conflict? Or can we look at it as innovative for an employee to use it?
I think it actually can be both because it's innovative. Again, it frees us up to be more hands-on with the people, but it can also plagiarism and things of that nature can come out of using AI. So that part, people have to be careful. Students have to be careful saying, create me a thesis on this or, a paper on this or whatever. So you have to be very careful. So I think it can be both.
Yeah, it can be both. And it's interesting that you did bring that up about students and using AI as a scholar. And, just like it was when we were going to college, there are programs that can detect that. And we're not saying not to use AI because it can free them up, but you still got to know the concepts in which you're talking about.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
You can use AI to get research,
Yes.
right? You use the research, get the research, and but it can't just do the whole thing for you and you turn it in.
Exactly.
Right? You got to do your part.
Exactly.
You got to do your
you have
part.
to read it and just kind of summarize it in your own words and not just the whole AI, just word for word.
Right.
What AI said.
Yeah.
So,
for instance, documenting discipline, right? You can go to AI. Hey, give me some information on documenting discipline. But then you got it. It's research. It's going to help you on how you navigate doing it now or give you new ideas on how you're doing it now, right?
yes.
But you've got to be the one to put it to practice.
Yes.
So you got to know the concepts to do it to practice. You used AI to find out concepts, but you are using the practical aspect in implementing what you need.
Absolutely.
All right. So if you had one thing that you would want to say to an HR professional, what would it be? That are people that are coming into the HR role.
I would say come in with a positive attitude.
Okay.
The willingness to learn. Just be open to share your thoughts as a new professional in the HR world, and be confident in yourself.
Well, listen, that's it. Be confident in yourself. This has been a wonderful conversation.
Thank you.
As an HR emerging leader, now people know what to expect, and it's okay to switch to that profession if you need it. Wow, what an inspiring conversation with Linda Grafenreed, Human Resources Coordinator with the Salvation Army, Memphis and Mid-South. Her journey into HR reminds us that there's no single path to success, and that passion, adaptability, and the commitment to learning are key to thriving as an HR emerging leader professional. If you're considering a career in HR or just starting out, remember Linda's advice: embrace the challenges, stay curious, and never stop learning. Be sure to watch a new episode of Let's Talk HR with Dr. Deneen, the first of every month on the YouTube channel of the same name, and on Comcast Xfinity, channel 17 and 1091, Monday nights from 8 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Please note, you can watch Let's Talk HR with Dr. Deneen and prior episodes at any time. Go to YouTube and type in the talk show title. Be sure to subscribe, no fee, and click on the notification bell. This is HR TV. I'm Dr. Deneen, and I want to talk HR with you. HR forever. See you next time.